We have situations where we have aged facilities that actually cause additional maintenance, and actually implementing a capital project to improve the facility will reduce ongoing maintenance. That has occurred with some parks projects recently, where replacing a sports field that is a high maintenance burden for the parks maintenance staff with artificial turf reduces future maintenance. So that's the kind of example that's referring to.
So something like the city wanting to go more green would have a capital expenditure that in the long run would have a savings. Would that be part of it?
Yes.
Lower temperatures. Okay. I think my last question is the economic stimulus projects where the state and MTC are asking the cities to provide this list of projects, and I know you've been very diligent about trying to get that ready for them. Do you at any point now understand what the process might be in terms of how they're going to be ranking those, who goes first? I mean, is it actually individual cities versus county and then distribution from there, or what do we know?
We know very little. Nothing's been enacted yet. The most likely thing is that cities and counties and states will, or city and counties will be distributed some amount of money on a formula basis. If they actually get down to taking one of the projects we submitted and say that's a nice project, we'd like to fund that specific project, that would be wonderful, but we're not really expecting that. But it's a wait and see.
So it wouldn't be just necessarily a lump sum of money and then the city, decide how to use it, versus saying, oh, specifically this project is a good one, here's funding for it.
It could be either.
It could be either way.
Could be either way. Shot in the dark. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of quick ones. At the January 27th meeting, or maybe sometime else in January, next time there's an update or something, is it possible to get an update on the grade separation, kind of where we're at as far as the numbers are? We've had a couple of minor amendments, I know, and we say we're okay with everything, but just kind of maybe a check-in temperature on that to show us how we are. I don't want to jinx anything, obviously, so I'm knocking on wood right now, but maybe just an update on that would be helpful first part of the year.
Our pleasure.
The scoping and costing as it's coming through, I'd imagine we're seeing some competitiveness with the bidding process out there. Is that helping us? Is that going to allow us to do maybe some more projects?
Possibly. I think what it's done is it's slowed down the inflation of our bid prices. A few years ago, if you recall, we were getting huge increases annually in bid prices, and that has slowed down, especially in building projects. It really hasn't happened in pavement maintenance projects because of the cost of oil. I know gasoline's dipped down, but asphalt is still very expensive, and rock is still very expensive. So we're still seeing increase in cost on maintenance items.
And then on the economic stimulus, I know that there's, well, they don't know yet, but that I would venture to say there will be some money for a lot of prioritizing towards green and prioritizing maybe towards some biotech. I know we're lean and mean, but are we in the position to maybe help some of our corporate clients as far as trying to get some to maybe expand some down there as far as lobbying goes to help get some money maybe for some more biotech or solar companies?
I wish I could give you a blanket yes to that. It's going to depend on how severe things are. I think that over the next several months, as this dialogue continues, staff capacity could potentially be an issue. Mm-hmm. Even getting to things that we think are part of a vision for Fremont, or seemingly things that could really improve the quality of life, or a prudent investment otherwise. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't say that if we have, an impact at a staff level, it will deeply affect our capacity, potentially. As our capacity is affected now, the staff is great, they always find a way of getting things done, despite the strain and the various priorities they have, but we're at that point, at that threshold, where reacting to various things, if the situation in the economy gets any worse, I just don't think we'll have the ability to react as positively.
Right.
So, we'll have to prioritize even more than we already do, and, appreciate the patience that you've shown in the past, because you're going to need more of it in the future.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager.
I understand for the general fund, we set a 7% borrowing limit or servicing limit because that's prudent. And we have all these other categories. Are we able to borrow funds from the other categories that we use for our capital improvement projects? And if we do we have a debt service limit of 7%?
We've not, in the past that I know of, had borrowed funds or had debt-funded projects for a street, for example, or a sidewalk, or other smaller projects that are funded with the specific restricted fund groups. Our debt has been focused on really general fund projects that we need to finance over time because of their size.
So the specific categories have some funds, but they're not sufficient to complete the project. So we set our debt limit at 7% because that's a prudent number, right? I guess.
Right. And on the restricted funds, we use the funds every year. All the funds are appropriated.
Okay. And assuming that if we were to exceed the 7% limit, it would have more impact on the budget that we were talking about because we'd be servicing more. We already have a shortfall, so we'd be servicing more. Unless we get one of those 18-month interest-only loans, right? Then we could service in fiscal 10-11, right? So. No, I'll look forward to January. Thanks for the overview. That's the only.
I don't have any questions. Thanks for the great report. We have a really good CIP process that people can have access to, and it allows the council to make timely decisions, without jumping off cliffs, and it works very well. So keep going. We'll see you in January.
Thank you.
Do we need to adjourn? I don't think so. Just end this. Just adjourn this meeting, and we'll have a closed session.